Hi guys, and welcome to this simple CSS video. This is Jamie from System22 and GreatWebDesign.com. In this video we're going to discuss and demonstrate background image CSS. It's always very eye-catching to have a nice image in the background of your sections when you're building a site. We're actually using a little bootstrap site here, and if anybody wants to download this for practice, you can download it from the link below. If I go to the folder, anybody that's done this before will know this. To get the site up, just double click on the index.html file there, and it'll bring it up in your preferred browser. I suggest you use Google Chrome if you're following along with this. This is what I'm using, and it's great for testing out CSS before you actually put it in your style sheet. Now I've created a new folder here. I've called it IMG, which is pretty common for image folders. This is where we're going to store any images that we use on this particular site. Inside there, I've just put a couple of images that we're going to use in this demonstration. So if I move that back out of the way. Okay, let's put an image behind this first section here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click and hit the inspect, which should inspect this particular section here. If it doesn't, you can roll up and down and select whatever section you want to inspect or whatever it is you're working on. So this is the first section that I want to do, and this is our CSS over to the right. This is our HTML on the left. The CSS is on the right here, as long as you have that styles tab selected. Yours may display on the right hand side, but you can move it down, move it over, have it wherever it works for you basically. So let's add an image. So what we've done, as I said, I've created an image folder here. At the moment the CSS is pointing to the CSS folder, so we kind of have to tell it to back out of there and go into our image folder here. So it's background image. And as with all coding, you want to make sure you spell everything right, because things will not work if you don't. Now we have to tell it where the image is. So we're going to say URL. And then we'll open some brackets. Just regular round brackets here. Now this is where we have to tell it to go. Now, as I say, to back out of the CSS and point to the image file, we need to do this. We need to give it 2 dots to back up, change the directory of it, and a /. Then we've got to give it the name of our folder, which was IMG, and inside that folder is our image that we want to use. Now I'll use that one right now, and that's small and it's a JPEG image, so you want to give it its name and the file type, which was small .jpeg. And you don't want a gap between the dot and the JPEG like I've got there, because it won't work. And there it is. It's grabbed it and put it in there for us. Now by default it's repeating it. It's repeating it both vertically and horizontally. Let's make this section a bit bigger so you can see that. I got some CSS dictating that it's 350 pixels. Just make it 650. There we go. So you can see that it's repeating it both horizontally and vertically. Now if you don't want it to repeat, just tell it not to repeat. You can say background repeat, colon, and say no repeat if you don't want it to repeat. That way it's just putting 1 there, which doesn't particularly do much for me. But of course you can give it other attributes that will make it look good there. For instance, I can make it span 100% of that and 50%, so it does look a bit better. Let's just do that to demonstrate to you. Let's say background size, colon, and we'll say 50%. The first attribute is the horizontal, so let's give it 50%. You see it's stretched halfway, 50% of our horizontal area here. And we'll give it another attribute, which is the vertical. I'll make it 100% so it stretches the complete vertical height of our section here. That way, that's quite common to use. That way you can have some nice text over here and you've got an image on the left hand side. If you decide you want it on the right or in the center, you just use the background position. Okay, let's put it in the center, just center. And you see that gives it automatic margin, puts it in the center. And if you perhaps want it on the right, just put right. By default, it's going to line up on the left hand side. Okay, so what if you want to cover the whole area with it? Well, that's pretty easy to do as well. That's just with our background size. Now let's just take this off and take that one off as well. So we've actually not giving it any size. That's the actual size of the image itself. We're not having it repeat. That's fine. Let's use a different image. I've got a bigger image there. Actually, this may just cover it anyway. I may switch back to the small. Let's have a look at the big image. That's fine. No, it didn't cover it. That's absolutely fine. So there's the other image. Let's make it cover the whole of this section here. We just need to add the attribute of background size cover. And as you can see, it's covering the whole of the background now. It's stretched itself out, top to bottom, left to right. Another thing I'll just show you is the X and Y's. Let's put that small one back in there. See, even that small photo, because we've got that cover attribute going on there, it's covering the whole area there. So let's just get rid of that. Let's take away that no repeat. Yeah, I want to get rid of that. Now we're back to where we were, where it's repeating both horizontally and vertically. If you just, for some reason, wanted it to just repeat vertically or just repeat horizontally, we can use the background repeat. We've got one here. Let's use this one and change the no repeat to repeat X or repeat Y. So let's dash X. And you see that's just going to repeat horizontally now. And if you want it to just do it vertically, say repeat Y. There you have it. So it's pretty simple to do, and you get some great effects, and it's a real useful little bit of CSS to put background images in here. And there's plenty of other ones you can do. You know, you can specify what it looks like in pixel height. You can squash it up or make it bigger, play around with it. But anybody that's watched this, of course, in the Chrome browser here, once we refresh this, all our CSS is lost. So let's get it to how we actually want it. Let's change it back to that big one, and let's cover the whole section. Big. Now we want background position cover. We'll put that back in there. Don't want any of that. Don't want any of that. Don't want the repeat. So I'm just going to grab all this CSS from that closing curly bracket there, all the way up to the dot of the first here. So I want all of that. Going to just copy it, Control C, or right click and copy. Now just to demonstrate, I'm sure you know this already, if I refresh this browser, let's close that inspector, this will all disappear because it's non-destructive. It's only this live version we can see. See, it's gone back to normal here. So let's just open our text editor. I'm using brackets here. This is a free text editor. You can download it from the link below this video also. Now if we go to our first section that we were working on here, here's the code we put in the last video. Let's just get rid of all that there. So we've got nothing here now. Let's just paste in the code that we copied from our browser. And there it is. And you can see these ones are commented out here with / and on the end / like we've done with our title here. Commenting it out means that the browser won't actually try and read that. And if you've got an attribute you just want to comment it out because it's not working, you can do it like that. Comment it out instead of deleting it in case you decide you want it back later on. So those ones that we got commented out there, let's just select those and delete them because we do not need them. Now when we save this, Control S, go back to our little site here, do a refresh, and our image should appear back there again. Of course, I didn't copy over that 650 pix attribute for the actual size, but that doesn't matter now. There we have it. Now we've got that image in the background covering the whole of the background there. So there it is. Bit of simple CSS demonstrating image backgrounds for you. If you've enjoyed this video and found it useful, please subscribe to our channel. If you're interested in web design and web development, please take one of our courses below. We've got some great free courses down there, and we've also got some great courses that are heavily discounted for our subscribers. Once again, this has been Jamie from System 22 and Great Web Design. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.